he's like, hey man, I was happy to coach you. I didn't think a lot of you at the start. He goes, but you're going to high A. You got no business being here. You were right. And I'm like, you damn right I got no business being here.
That's
what the hell's
awesome.
the matter with you?
And I'm in love with this good life. Can't give it up. Make it to the top. Keep climbing. I wanna live it up. The good life. I'm coming up. I'm coming up. The good life. Good life. Oh, good life. Good life. Good life.
That's awesome. Dustin, was there, during those struggling times, was there a vet or one of the vets who did kind of help you through it, or did you just internalize it and go, I don't want to talk to anybody until I start hitting?
No, Alex Cora and Mike Lowell were huge in helping me out, and AC was playing second over me when I was struggling. And he, his job at that time was to help teach me how to be a big leaguer. Theo signed him to a 2-year deal. Alex tells me, oh, dude, they overpaid me to do this job. And he goes, you know what, I'm going to do it. And he helped me every step of the way. And I mean, we're family. I mean, obviously everyone knows that, how close we were then and are now. But when I was tough, everybody thought I stunk except Alex. And I know at the time it was deep in him. He's like, I don't know if this kid's going to do it. You know what I mean? But I never saw that in him. I mean, now we can talk about it, and he's like, "Hey, what the hell were you doing?" But he never wavered. He said, "Hey, listen, you're the second baseman. You're going to be a. He kept positive stuff, teaching me the game. Hey, when you're not playing, you're watching for this. You're looking for that. That struggle and that first month and a half, it helped me learn the game. But I wasn't the one that was going to sit back and feel sorry for myself. There ain't no way in hell that's going to happen. I'm going to listen to the guy that's been there for 10 years and go, oh my God, if I want to do this, I need to learn from him. He's not trying to take my job. He's trying to help me win a job. It doesn't matter what team you're playing for. You want to be a big leaguer for a long time. And I got to learn from the best guys doing it.
That's such a great story because I felt the same way coming up, like a guy like Barry Larkin or Greg Vaughn, guys that kind of taught me the game and sometimes believed in me more than I believed in myself.
Yeah.
And, and that's a great lesson. Like, did you find yourself as you moved on, Petey, like, did you find yourself reacting the same way to some young players?
Oh, yeah. I mean, but towards the end of after we won in 13, in 14, we brought a lot of our young guys up, Mookie, Jackie, Middlebrooks was there. Vasquez came up, Bogarts. So we had transitioned really fast in from winning the World Series to, hey, we're going to give, 6 position players an opportunity. And it's tough when you do, you can mix in 1 or 2 and still be fine. But when you're adding 5, 6 young guys, you're going to take some lumps. And I knew that. So my job was to lead and be there for them. And you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have growing pains. You're going to do stupid. You're going to miss a cutoff and have the guy go, home to second and double play's not in order. That's going to happen. So you got to prepare for it. So I had patience like Alex, when things did happen, I'm not going to blow anybody up. After the game, I'm going to call, Mookie or Jackie over and go, hey, we got to keep the double play in order because, obviously in big leagues, it's hard to get out of innings. So, it gives us more of a chance to get out of one if we have the double play in order, especially if you're not 100% sure you're going to throw the guy out. You know what I mean? You got to throw through the cutoff, just things like that. And I think they appreciated the way I went about it. I'm not during the game going to run out there and start screaming at, Jackie, that guy is the hardest working guy on the planet. You know what I mean? It's not like, Jackie, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? The guy's diving off the wall like a pinball, catching balls like, his effort you love, and you can see, and I can see with Bogarts, he would, be slower to plays than other. And I'm like, Bo, you got to give me the ball, just things like that. So you take your lumps with them, and they appreciate it in the long run. And then you look at 2018, all those guys that we took the lumps together were there. The only shitty
Yeah.
part is I couldn't be out there with him because got my knee blown out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that sucked.
But I could see a part of me in every one of their games, and it's just like what Alex did to me. If you look at, I mean, shoot, I stole 100, like you said, 38 or 40 bases, whatever the hell it was, and with my speed, and that's Alex teaching me when to go, when not to go, how to get jumps, things like that. So he appreciated it. Every success that I had, he was a part of.
Talk about learning the game. Like I know you talked about Alex and Mikey Lowell and all these great guys that taught you the game, that you taught some of the younger guys the game. I saw your relationship with Terry Francona when I was there. You would show up like 8 hours early to play cribbage with the guy. I'm like, hey, the only two guys in the clubhouse are Dustin Pedroia and Terry Francona freaking playing cribbage in Tito's office. And like they're loving it. And then you'd go play that. You'd go take 7 hours of grounders. I'm like, how's this guy freaking ready for the game? He played cribbage for an hour with Tito and took 7 hours of grounders, and he's still raking, Can you talk about Tito and your relationship with him and what he meant for your career?
Oh, he was the best. I mean, he gave me the freedom to play. And I think that's, as a young player, that's all you want. You don't want to have to look over your shoulder and go, gosh, if I mess up, am I getting sent out, or am I not playing, or, and to his credit, I didn't do a lot of stupid things. Fundamentally, I was always sound to where defensively you were never going to have a problem. Offensively, I understood my role and understood the situations of the game. If we're down 2 in the ninth and it's 3-1 on me, I'm not going to swing 3-run, because 3-2, I'm going to get the same pitch and I'm going to get, you know what I mean? He might throw a ball 3-1 and I walk and the tying run comes to the plate. So I had a good sense of how to play the game. So I think that helped Tito go, hey, I'm going to give this kid the freedom to just go be him, play the game, and not worry about it. And that's all you can ask for. He would be open with communication. Hey, let me know when you need a day off, which, I never said that. So every now and then he could tell and he'd go, hey, listen, man, you're not playing tomorrow. We got an off day Monday. You're done. Don't put your cleats on. And I was always still the first one in the damn dugout like an idiot. But
I know.
I think that our relationship, it was perfect, man. And our sense of humor's, we're right on the same page. When times were tough, he'd crack a joke and I'd, smart back and things like that to keep the atmosphere loose. Because in that environment, it's tough. I mean, you can have, we've been through a lot. Fans get on you, everyone gets on you. So you have to keep the mood and the atmosphere, fun, positive. Obviously the goal is to win the championship, win the World Series every year. And that can wear on you. It's not like you can ever have a down year in Boston. Your life's on the line. So,
it's so true.
We knew that, and it was a perfect match. And I owe everything to him. He was everything to me.
Dude, looking at how he impacted you, I know I have had a lot of great managers that have impacted me, Tito being one of them. Would Dustin Pedroia ever want to manage one day?
Oh, yeah, I want to. Not now. My kids, my youngest is 7, so he's got 10 more years until he goes off to college, and then I want to get into it. So I basically look at it as I got 10 years to study everything there possibly is. So when I start up, it's go time. Because me, I don't like to lose. So I definitely want to. It's just a matter of time. And I watch I still watch all the time and stay up to date on everything, and still in touch with the front office. They want me to have some type of role. So I'm sure we'll work that out soon with the Red Sox. So it's coming.
Do that, bro. It's the easiest job ever. The assistant. Well, what's Pedroia doing? He's assistant to the GM. Like, what are you kidding me? He just does basically whatever he wants to do. It's the greatest job ever. Dude, you talk about playing in Boston, because I played there, and it's one of the greatest places to play when you're doing well, and probably one of the toughest places to play when you're not, especially as a team. And when you guys won the champ, obviously the 04 team kind of broke the ice and broke curse and everything. But bam, later, you're a huge part of that 07 team, winning the whole thing. You win the Rookie of the Year. You dominate in the postseason. What was that like, man, winning that championship and then the fan base, the relationship with you and the fan base from then on?
I didn't know any better my rookie, in 2007. that was the goal, and it was beat into you by the veteran guys, by Tito, and we accomplished that. So in my mind, I'm like, we have to do that. That's the plan. Like,
Right.
it should be like this every year. If we don't do this, we didn't do our job. So that helped me as a young player. Of you never want to play a big league game that's not meaningful. And I was lucky that we always had teams that could compete. Apart from a couple years where you knew we had young players, but if our young players would have take a huge step, we'd have been right there. But people come along at different paces. So there was a couple years where we didn't not have a chance, but we were right there. But we were always competing for a title, and that's what you want. And every year I showed up to Fort Myers, and it was like, this is all right. This is the year we're winning the World Series. And obviously you have to have luck. You have to be healthy. A lot of things have to go right. So, some years you like 2008, that was so tough, and we would have done it if not for injuries. We had our pitchers went down late in the year. Beckett wasn't healthy. Lester was pitching with a dang oblique deal, and I don't even know how the hell he was throwing the ball. It was just one of those things, and we took the Rays to Game 7, and JD's getting rung up on pitch outs. Jesus Christmas. And it took a big home run to beat us off Lester. I think, remember, Willie Ibar hit that home run.
Yep.
We lose Game 7. So, I mean,
you
have to have breaks.
What pissed me off about that year, bro, is first off, reading Tito's book, he says, all those teams, the 04 team was great, 07. He said the most talented team might have been the 08 team. And that was the best team I probably ever played on. And I look back at my career, it was my last year of my career, I'm like, man. And what drove me crazy is Longoria has like 5 homers. BJ Upton, and they had the series of their life, and we still lost in Game 7. Like, it still bothers me. And you let off Game 7. You let off the game with a homer, right? You took Garza deep.
Yeah.
First at bat. I'm like, oh, dude, here we go. We're gonna get to the World Series, because I really felt like that team could have won it all. But like, it still bothers me, even though I came off the bench and punched out. Like, I got in there against Edwin Jackson. I think like Tito's like, get up there, 1, 2, 3, see you later. Like, hey, glad I contributed to that team. Clean it up, What I mean?
I love it. I love it.
Thank God. So, Pete, when I look back too, like, I like to think back in my career at some of the guys like that I owned, or some of the guys that owned me. So I want to start there with, who's one guy that you when you looked at the rotation, you go, man, I'm excited to face that guy.
I hit Scott Kazmir real good. I crushed him. Yeah. When he was throwing fuzz, and he would try to come in, and it was right into my bat path. And I think I hit like 6 something off him with a lot of it back. I hit like 3 or 4 homers off him in the playoffs, 3 homers off him in the playoffs. You have those guys that his stuff lines up with my bat path. It was just one of those things. Who else did I hit good? I can tell you who I didn't hit good. Dan Herron was my guy that I couldn't get a hit off of. He threw me those splits right down the middle, and I hit a grounder to short every time. It was like I was using a K100 up there, just hitting a damn fungo to short. Whoever their shortstop was like, I don't need any ground balls today. Dustin Pedroia is going to give me all of them. Yeah.
Dustin, I got a question, and we were talking about this before we came on. Your ability to look the media in the eye, to look managers in the eye, to look people in the eye and say what's on your mind without having any concerns. But you never said anything that was wrong. But where did that come from in you being so honest and being able to almost control the media in a way where they couldn't do anything to you because you were so honest with them?
I mean, once I got to Boston, they run you through those media training stuff. And I remember one of the first things, obviously they teach you, when you struggle, just own up to it. Be honest, and I figured, you know what? Okay. I'll be who I am. You know what I mean? I'm never going to back down from, a situation where I'm struggling or, this or that. You have to respect the game. It is what it is. I love baseball, everybody has a job to do. So when they ask you a question, I'll give them an answer. You don't have to like it, and it is what it is. I think people appreciate that more of accountability. When they ask you a question, I just tell them an answer. Sometimes it's hard, but it is what it is. And I was lucky enough that method worked in Boston. I mean, everybody knew I was going to be at my locker, win, lose or draw, and we're going to talk about, how shitty I am or how great I am. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. And that's the way I looked at it.
Well, one of the greatest quotes ever was when you were like, "Oh, what do you mean? Struggling? They're about to wait till you see the laser show about to happen." Like, I'm like, this guy's a maniac. I wasn't even playing with him. I was like, who's this guy? This guy's a freaking maniac. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. Who were the guys when you were growing up, bro? Who were the guys that were your idols? Who were the players that you modeled your game after?
So I was a Giants fan, and they had Brett Butler, Robbie Thompson, Will Clark, Kevin Mitchell, Candy Maldonado, and they were, they obviously always won, but they played a certain style. I mean, Will Clark, he's crazy. I mean, he's taking the extra base, popping up, going nuts. Kevin Mitchell's barehanding balls out in the outfield. Robbie Thompson's moving a runner over. Brett Butler's bunting. Like, so that's what I watched. And how it is when you watch, your team growing up, you try to model yourself after those guys.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought how you played baseball, because that was the only team you could watch. The A's weren't, I didn't have them on television, and they had the Bash Brothers. So I'm sure if they were on the TV network that I was watching, I'd be trying to hit bombs. You know what I mean? But, maybe I lucked out and, I got to watch Matt Williams play third base, and there was more, it's not, their style was more blue collar. They just had to play play their game offensively different than the A's. The A's had Ricky, which Ricky's hitting leadoff bombs. Ricky's stealing, 2 bases, and then McGuire's hitting a homer. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I got to watch a different style from the Giants,
Right.
To where Will Clark, he's hitting 300 with 16 homers and driving in 100 from the 3-hole and taking, it's a different brand. So I think I watched that, and you learn the game if you sit down and actually watch it. You know what I mean? So, that helped me out.
It's funny you say that, bro, because Will Clark was literally my idol growing up. Like, I wanted to be Will Clark. Even watching the College World Series back when he was with Mississippi State, I'm like, he'd scored, he'd always hit the double, he'd give it the pop-up, the pop-up slap, and I'm like, I love this guy. He's a freaking maniac, So it's funny you say that about the Giants, because I love those teams a ton. I got one more question about Fenway Park, because I never figured this out. I don't know if you remember this story. I remember one day we're playing the Orioles. I come up, boom, I rocket one off the monster. I go for 2. I'm like, yeah, that's 2, baby. That's in the gap. I go for 2. It ricochets off. Boom, I get thrown out a second. I'm like, what the hell? I'm out by 20 feet, right? I slide in. So I'm like, that's unbelievable. Then the next day, I crush one to right center. I thought it was a homer, a little pimp job out the box, a little bit of hip flexor. I'm slow with a bad hip flexor and a pimp job. That's not a good combination. I'm rounding first. I'm rounding first base, and I'm going to second. All of a sudden, ball hits the top of the fence, comes back. Nick Markakis, bare hand thrown in. I'm rounding second, just bad running technique. I'm like, oh my God, it's so bad. And I'm like, we got a situation here. Markakis throws me out from right center, right? And I come in, and I don't remember, but I come in. I put my helmet down. I'm sitting on the bench. The crowd's like, "You suck. You're slow. Don't go to second." I'm like, I know. So Tito's like, "Hey, Case, can I talk to you real quick?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, Tito?" He's like, "Hey, listen, man, I don't know what's going on." He's like, "Hey, is there any chance you might have polio?" Yeah.
Oh, that's the best.
It was unbelievable. So you, a guy that's played in Boston, whatever, 14 years. Can you talk about when did you go to when do you go to second when you hit off the monster? How do you have the monster read?
So basically, my earlier years, I tested everything. You know what I mean? And I knew as a second baseman, if it's going to be bang bang, it's really hard because you don't see where the runner is to put a tag on. So I knew if the play was going to be close, I would go. I'd be aggressive. But I knew if it was a risk, I'd stop. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
but that takes time to learn because you know how it is in baseball. When you hit a double, you want a double.
Right.
You know what I mean? You've earned it. But there's times where you're like, especially at Fenway, you can hit a home run to left field and it could be a single. So
Right.
you have to understand that in the end, it's going to take away some home runs and doubles. It's going to give you a lot more singles, even in right field and in left field. You can hit a fly ball down the left field line. That's a can of corn in every other stadium, and it hips the wall for a single or a double. You get one, right? And then you could flip a fly ball into right because it's 390 feet to dead right. It's a bomb. And the right fielder could be playing, doubles, and you get a single. It'll give. So you have to mentally prepare. Hey, listen, some years I'm going to get 10 extra hits, and it's going to take away 6. You know what I mean? So you just have to mentally prepare. Hey, it's the ballpark we play in. You have to embrace it and play the game right. Be smart. But doing it for 1 year, hell yeah, you're going to get thrown out at second because you get fired up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it takes time.
I'm like every other ball I've hit in the gap there is a double. Like I just go and I'm like, why am I out by 20 feet? You know what I mean? This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. All right, Petey. The last thing is, bro, we play this game called 9 and 90. Chinch, tell Petey how it's played.
All right, it's very simple. We never know how to explain this right, but very simple. I'll just ask questions. Is it this or that question? Sean answers first, and then you just pick it up right on the back end or put stupid music on it in the back. All right, ready, guys? Ready, Case? Start now?
Yeah, let's do it.
First one, what's worse, being tired or being hungry?
Oh, being hungry is way worse. Way worse.
Pete.
Hungry.
Okay. Worst friend, one who never offers to pay or one who always cancels at the last minute?
Oh, man. One who cancels. There's nothing worse than you're like, hey, bro, we going to lunch? They're like, no, I can't go again. I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah, I'd probably do the same.
Okay. You need one RBI. Manny or Poppy?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Poppy.
Serious.
Poppy.
Yeah, I'm going David too. 100%.
Right. Just a little lighter. Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy!
Yeah.
All right. I think this is an easy one. Fireworks show or laser show?
I'm going to go with the Dustin Pedroia laser show.
Laser show.
Regular laser show.
That's an easy one. All right, your next life. You could come back as a cheetah or an eagle. Which one, Sean?
Oh, man, I'm going to have to come back as an eagle because just to be able to fly would be unbelievable. To be able to run like a cheetah, that would be fun, but flying like an eagle would be awesome.
All right.
Yeah, I'm scared of heights. I'm going cheetah. Dude, 100%.
All right. Duck boats, overrated or underrated?
Duck boats. Duck boats are overrated.
Underrated. They're the best. Yeah.
All right. Wash the dishes immediately or wait until the sink is full?
Oh, you know what? I'm going to wash the dishes immediately, guy. I can't stand the sink being full. I start yelling at the kids. I'm like, let's go, kids. Freaking do your chores and get the dishes in the dishwasher.
Yep, I'm dishwasher, so nothing's getting stacked up. I don't put them away right away. I just throw them in there, and the kids will take them out of the dishwasher in a couple days.
Beautiful. All right, last one. A movie made about your life. Who's playing you? Matt Damon or Ben Affleck?
Probably Ben Affleck. He play me.
Okay.
Wow.
Because he was Batman.
Yeah, I'll probably go Matt Damon.
Nice.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, if we put a movie together about Sean Casey and Dustin, it could be Affleck and Damon playing
Yes.
you guys.
Yep.
All right, that's it. Thanks, man.
That sounds perfect. Hey,
Love
Petey,
it.
thanks. Petey, thank you so much, brother.
You got it.
Bro, it's so good to see you, dude. And I can't wait to see you here soon. Hopefully, wherever. We'll cross, our paths will cross. But thanks a lot, man. Thanks for making
Thanks
the
so much,
adjustment,
man.
too, bro.
All right, you got
I
it,
knew
Rick.
you would. I knew you would.
Thanks,
All right,
guys.
bro. Love
You're
you,
the
brother.
best, man.
I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Petey.
All right,
You're
see you,
the
bro.
best. Okay, man.
So awesome, man.
Dude.
I get like when he started like grinding his teeth, talking like taking back, like I'm a, you know, I don't know. I guess I have a similar personality to that where I was getting excited. Like how about if he becomes a manager one day? How great of a manager will he be?
Dude, he will be the best manager, man. He has to. Like the game needs Dustin Pedroia. Like I know, and I love what he's saying though. You know, he's got his 3 kids. You know, his 3 sons. You got to raise your kids. Cause same way with me. You got to raise your kids. But you know, Petey's still young. What is he? 30, about to be 38 years old. Yeah. So you know, I think you know, he's still going to be young when he has a chance to manage when his kids are gone. So the game needs Dustin Pedroia, and I hope he gets in there with the assistant GM job or whatever, you know, awesome. Or assistant to the GM or whatever that is. You know what I mean? So he's so great, man. Just you know what I love about Petey? Like when he talks, his passion for the game, like probably the greatest IQ I ever played with. A guy that just like when he talks about the cutoffs, the relays, he knew where to go with the ball like no one else I'd ever seen. He was thinking 4, 5, 6 steps ahead of people, especially defensively. And, you know, it was something special. But when you hear him talk about his story, just about some of the, you know, chips he had on his shoulder, about, you know, what people said, you know, he's too small to this. No, he was like, no, I'm a killer. And when I get out across those white lines, no one's stopping me. And I just, you know, you just love to look back at Dustin Pedroia's career and go, that guy did it right. And that guy was one of the best teammates ever, 3 championships for the Red Sox. You know, just the ultimate gamer, man. I think of Pete Rose, you know, as far as on the baseball field, how he played the game. I think of Dustin Pedroia, like that Pete Rose comp.
Right. And think about it this way. Baseball, I put this more difficult than any other sport. Like for him to walk into his manager's office and go, I'm playing today, and then get 4 hits and back it up. That's like, that's not, I don't think most people know how crazy that is to do something like that because you're at the mercy of the game. But the guy has such balls that
the game,
he was going to get 4 hits in that game, it sounds like.
There's no doubt. The game was so hard. His eye-hand coordination was so elite, though, that I think his belief in himself plus that, you know, made him one of the best second basemen of all time. So, yeah, you're right. To just tell the coach, I want to get in, 4-4-2 doubles. A few weeks later, he's in high A ball. You know, it's unbelievable. There's stories of a legend, you know, the legend of Dustin Pedroia. It's just really, really awesome, man.
The polio story is a great story too, by the way.
He was there for it. It was there. Like I think you might have heard Tito tell me. I was like, oh man, it's a tough break. I was like, I don't know when to run in this park. It's freaking the dimensions are nothing I've ever seen before.
That's
you know,
amazing.
What a place to play though, man. To play in Boston.
Imagine.
When I talk about Pedroia playing 14 years in Boston, to play in Boston just that 1 year for me is one of the greatest years of my career because you know, just the fans are unbelievable. They're so passionate. It's packed every night. They're all in. And as a player, you feel that every night, and you're all in. And so, like when you talk about Petey and Big Papi and you know Pedro and man, all those guys, even Millar being there, those guys that played all those years, man, like nothing better than playing in front of that Boston crowd.
Yeah, and when you're going well, they'll treat you like gods. Right?
Dude, you're royalty, bro. You're royalty. Thank God I didn't struggle that year. I was like, I think I was hitting like,
you wouldn't be able to go to.
I was hitting 350. I was like, please don't let me struggle here in Boston. Please just let me keep raking, you know?
Anyway, well, that was awesome, man. He's a good friend of yours, and that was so cool getting to talk to him a little bit. Everything you hear about him and everything that people respect about him, I just saw it in this one little hour just because of how awesome he was. So thanks for setting that up, man.
One of the best teammates I ever had, man. Just a great dude, great friend, awesome, good people.
Great stuff, man. As always.
All right, Chin, you're good people too, bro. Yeah, I love you too, man. Thank you. You're good people too, bro. One of my best friends. I love you.
Yeah, bro.
And I want to tell everyone out there, man, that listens to us and tunes into the mayor's office. Keep joining us, man. Come on the ride with us. We're having just as much fun as you guys are. I mean, we enjoy doing this every week. So everyone that's finding us on Apple or Spotify, YouTube, you can join us on nofilter.net here, to join us live. And it's just, it's a lot of fun. So thanks a lot. We're grateful for you guys. Chintz, I'm grateful for you, brother. I will see you next week, my man. Love you.
All right, bro. Love you too.